Ladies, 5 signs that you're dating a player. Now, men that are watching this and ladies that are watching this, calm down before you get too worked up, because I'm going to give you 5 things that you may notice that are consistent, that are a constant in this new dating game that you're in with this person, right? And so what happens is it's not a hard rule that if I say number 1, which is hides his phone often and is constantly on it, that doesn't mean that he's definitely a player. That definitely doesn't mean that he is having sex with multiple people or seeing other people or intimately, romantically, sexually dating other people and not telling you, right? Because let's be honest for a moment. There's nothing wrong with someone that says, hey, I'm in a stage in my life where I am exploring my sexuality. And it happens to be that I'm exploring my sexuality with other people. Novelty is what I seek. I am curious about various sexual energies. So I want to date you and I want to see you. And please know that I'm dating other people. I'm having sex with other people. It's protected. It's unprotected. Whatever their conditions are, if they are completely transparent and they're honest with you and they're opening up to you, you then can make a choice and say, that works for me. Or, no, I'm sorry. That's not the stage of my life that I'm at. But let me go back to tip number 1. Hides his phone often. And I'm using his female-male dynamic, right? Because the title of this is 5 ways to know that he's a player. So hides his phone often and is always constantly on it. He may also have a work addiction. He may also have a job that entails him being on his phone constantly and being available. He may have sick parents that he's attending to that he doesn't want to talk to you about. That doesn't make it right or wrong, but just because he's on his phone a lot or he hides his phone, it doesn't mean that he's texting or sexting with other women or other people. It just means it's a sign to look for. And if it's a consistent thing, I think you have an opportunity to ask a question about that. Number 2, lags in response. So when you're messaging him, when you're contacting him, when you're reaching out to him, you're calling him, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. There's no rhyme or reason. There is no consistency. There is no, it's every 24 hours he seems to be getting back to me. One day it's 2 minutes, he's back to me straight away. And I'll get to maybe why that is. And the next day I don't hear from him for 2 days when I communicate with him. That could be a sign that his interests aren't exactly on you, but he's telling you that. Number 3, he doesn't talk about his personal relationships. Doesn't talk about his friendships, doesn't really want you to meet his friends, doesn't speak about his previous relationships a great deal. He may have something to hide. He's in this hiding energetic. He's in this energetic of, I just want to hide from the world. I don't really want people to know what I'm doing. I am doing secret things. I'm in the shadows, and therefore I start to hide so much about the rest of my life. Number 4, he's flaky on the details of his past. Doesn't really want to talk about himself too much. And when he does talk about himself, it's all about how great he is. It's all about the amazing things he can do and the amazing things that he can do for you. But when it comes to his past, he's sketchy on the details. He avoids the conversations. He distracts. He turns it back on you. The conversation point around his past is really, really shady. Be on the lookout for that. Number 5, cannot commit to plans. When you message him, hey, what are you doing Friday night? It's Tuesday night and it's Tuesday. What are you doing Friday night? It's like, I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting to hear back from someone, or I don't know, or he doesn't respond to you. But he's always waiting. So he's waiting for the better offer, whether it's with his friends, whether it's with another woman, whether he has women on rotation, sexual partners on rotation, or even just emotionally intimate partners, because maybe this man needs to feed himself emotionally from multiple partners. He needs to validate his sense of self-worth, his worthiness, his value from multiple people in different ways. And he's waiting for what's going to feel best for him in that moment. So he's going to wait, because he's not going to let you know 3 or 4 days or 2 days in advance. So he's not respecting your time. He's not respecting your space. Now, I said there were 5, but I'm going to give you a couple of bonuses because that's what I do. He only calls you, and you notice this, when he wants sex. What do the new cool kids call it these days? They call it They call it booty calls. They call it booty calls. Or maybe that's an old thing from the 80s. I don't know. But either way, he's calling you only when he wants to fuck. That's it. He's not calling you to hang out. He's not messaging you or calling you to check in on you, to see how you are, how your day is. Hey, that thing that happened last week that upset you, tell me more about that. He's only interested in you. But you from a sexual perspective. But he hasn't expressed that. He hasn't come into the relationship saying, hey, I'm in a place in my life where all I want is sex. I don't want deeper emotional commitment or attachment. I just want sex. He's coming to the relationship making you think that there's more than that. And by him not being proactive and talking about it, that's a problem. Like, that's not a healthy dynamic to be in. So I want to give you another bonus tip as well. How you know that your man may be a player. He disrespects you. He doesn't want to listen to you. He makes it all about him. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but in this context, all he does is talk about himself and his accolades and how great he is and how he can make your life better. He doesn't want to get to know you. So this bonus tip is really, he doesn't ask questions about you. He looks at you as a physical object. Does he like and resonate with what he sees? Can he perceive you to satisfy his sexual appetite? If that's the case, he doesn't need to know anything more about you. He's stuck in that superficial realm of relating. Nothing wrong with being in the superficial, but that's not where you may be at. And that's not where you may want to hang, right? So all he wants is sex. You're a booty call. All he wants to do is have sex at his convenience. So he sees you as an object. Therefore, he's not wanting to know about your life. He's not wanting to know about your past, your fears, your struggles, your celebrations. He doesn't want to meet your friends. He doesn't want to know really what work you do. He's not really interested in what makes you you. He's not interested in your values. He's not interested in how you spend your time, what your favorite holiday was. He's not interested in whether you want to start a family. He's not interested in whether you have children. He doesn't care about you as a whole person. He gives a fuck about himself and more than likely ejaculating, or more than likely looking good or looking a certain way and achieving and experiencing validation through you and through the sexual act of being with you. But that's about it. So, there are 7 ways to know that you may be dating a player and you're dating someone that isn't interested in all of you but is only interested in some of you. So you've got to make a decision. What do you want to give to the world? What do you want to give to this relationship? Now, if you stack all of these signs up, the likelihood of something happening that isn't exactly honest and transparent is probably pretty high. My invitation to you is ask questions. Ask clarifying questions of this man. Hey, what do you want from this relationship? Are you dating other people? Are you interested in having sex with other people? What do you really want from life? Ask good quality questions, receive good quality answers. At least you can look for how he responds. And that, in his body language, how he leans in, how he takes the time to respond, how he respects your question, how he doesn't avoid your question, how he looks at you in the eyes, breathes a little slow, smiles and says, thank you for your question. Let me go deeper into that. Look for honest traits. Look for consistency in how he shows up to you. And more importantly, get clear on what you want. Here, here, and here. Power and blessings to you. I'll see you soon.